So here we move on to the last round of Swiss, ladies and gentlemen. Round number 5, game number 1. Myself once more on the right playing Chaos Theory, and then Si from Cheltenham on the left playing Jinteki Personal Evolution. Now, as again you've probably noticed from the February casts, I did mention there, Si and I play relatively regularly along with Dave Hoyland. On Wednesday nights and occasionally on other Saturdays where we don't have tournaments on. So I do know Si's deck quite well. Ultimately it's a deck with a very low agenda density. He's running I think 3 3-pointers if not more. The idea is to make me really suffer with the installed advance play. So he's running Cerebral Overwriters, he's running Ronins, he's running Fetal AIs obviously, and he's running 3-pointers for the rest. It's a very low agenda density, and he's running some quite taxing ice, making it expensive to make big runs on R&D. It's a difficult deck to play against. I was certainly in the tournament doing quite well against it. Sorry, before the tournament I was doing quite well against it, and I only had to split this round to be guaranteed a top 8 place. So I'm kind of hoping here, with the early aggression of my Chaos Theory deck, I can come out of the blocks quite quickly. Score the early points that I need. If I can, again, sort of snatch an early 3 points, even 5 points, then I should be in a comfortable position. Si's going to place some ice in front of R&D, and then he's giving some thoughts as to what to do next. You can see from my hand there, I've got a self-modifying code, so any breaker is achievable. He runs a lot of sentry breakers in this deck, and it's a bit of a weakness of mine. Unfortunately, so he's taken 2 credits and put the ice there. I'm going to play the Magnum Opus first click, and second click, and third click. I'm going to take the money. I'm going to do it all in fact. So there we go. I'm still Magnum Opus and take 6, and pass the turn back over. So I've got a Sharpshooter in hand as well from the looks of it. Again, a ways of getting through any program trashing. He's going to ice up HQ and take some money. So building up his economy, getting ready to start again. Installed advance. It's a really difficult thing to deal with. You do not want to take the early brain damage, and if you leave it there long term, then you have issues with Ronins, which can cause real problems. I'm going to install the self-modifying code after drawing up. I love Jinteki. Jinteki is, I think, a great faction. I still maintain competitive, and certainly will become even more so with the next data pack and obviously Honour and Profit. But at the same time, I'm rubbish at playing against Jinteki. I have real problems with caution. I tend to get too aggressive too early, and as such, I do have problems against them. I'm going to use Diesel first click. I know he doesn't particularly run June bugs in the deck, otherwise at this stage I probably would risk it and run there. He runs Cerebral Overwriters, and no amount of cards in hand is going to stop that from being a problem long term. I am going to run it, and I'm going to see. Oh, okay, I tell a lie. He does have June bugs in the deck. So I lose 4 cards. He's going to discard a Gordian, Scavenge, Sharpshooter, and a same old thing. So that's not great for me, it has to be said. I probably wanted the Gordian out at the very least. The Sharpshooter was useful for me, but it wasn't too bad. Losing the same old thing is okay. I've got another 2 in the deck, but I haven't gained any advantage, so all he's done is gain tempo there for the cost of 1 credit, and obviously the install and advance cost. He's going to double ice over R&D and take 2 credits, just building up his money. I've got a test run there in hand. A Plascrete, another same old thing, by the looks of it. I'm going to run HQ, see Homatubaku, and bounce off. Oh no, sorry, I'm going to go and fetch the Corroder. I'm going to look through for my lovely jubbly Corroder. There she is, paying 2 to install it, taking it to 3 memory, so fine at the moment. The only way I do have another Gordian Blade in hand, in the stack somewhere. Obviously got one in the heap as well. I'm going to run. Of course I'm going to see a snare. Yes, it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? So he discards the same old thing. He discards the test run and the snowball that I no longer need. So already he's causing problems here for me. I'm now on 1 card. I'm going to draw. Like, the Plascrete was absolutely useless. He left the useless card in hand for me. And I'm now down to that last same old thing there, having lost 2 already. And so I'm going to draw up and carry on. Leave the tag for the time being. But yeah, just my luck. The first successful run on a central, I hit smack straight into a snare. So I've got the account siphon there, which I'm going to play. I'm going to break through the barrier, drain him of 4, and take 8. I think he was only on 4 credits there. Giving me the perfect opportunity here to get aggressive. I've only got 3 cards in hand, so I do have to be wary of the fetal AIs. He can't trigger the snares currently, doesn't have the money, so it's just the fetal AIs that are a problem. But obviously again I do have to be cautious here, because he could easily... I could run into a fetal AI and he could then have an early MP in hand and it could cause me some problems. So that's why I'm giving a lot of thought here as to whether I draw before I run, and I do, I draw just in case he has the MP, and then I run R&D. Seeing nothing, and pass the turn back over. So it looks like he's got a couple of agendas in hand there. Difficult to make out. He's certainly got what looks to be a priority wreck there in hand, so at least 3 points worth of agendas, if not more. He's going to take a credit, and he's going to install over HQ. Sorry, took 2 credits and installed, so he's got 1 credit in the pot. I'm going to diesel, first click. Again, a good thing here probably just to get aggressive and have a look and see what I can see. It's a good time for aggression. I've got the money, so I'm going to break. Oh no, sorry, I'm not. Yep, I'm going to access HQ and see a fetal AI. Pay the 2 credits and take 3 net damage. So that's another account siphon gone. That's a Plas Creek gone, and that's an Asher gone. But 2 points still, so that's not too bad. I'm going to draw. And I'm going to run R&D. I'm presuming here he probably doesn't have anything he can res. I'm going to access, and I'm going to put it back, piece of ice. So we're fine, we're good, we're still good. Obviously I've got 3 tags on the board, which means that resources are problematic. So the same old thing. You know, it's kind of important here. I do have a Levy AR access in the deck, and I kind of need to make sure it doesn't get sniped. I'm going to draw, second click, seeing a Fem. I've got a Deus Ex there in hand as well, which is great. Which I'm going to play. So it does take up a memory, but it gives me the protection against snare. Protection against the 2 points of fetal damage at the very least, and also provides me protection against Ronin if he starts installing remote servers. So it's a useful card to see at this stage, and I didn't want to get it sniped. I wanted to make sure it went in hand, went on the board as quickly as possible. So I was going to run HQ there. I'm going to see a Bastion in front of the Hamatsubaku, and I'm just going to bounce off. It's fine, he's on 0 credits currently, meaning he's having to slow right down, click for credits, and leaving R&D open, which is ideal if I can see an indexing. He's discarding a card or 2 there into archives. I think he's still got a fair few points worth of agendas in hand there, doesn't look to be discarding any. So I'm going to run R&D, I'm going to see the Eli. And I'm just deciding again once more here whether to break it or not. At the very on the plus side, these are all barrier breakers, and I've got my corroder out. These are all barriers, sorry, and I've got my barrier breaker out, I should say. So there is definitely a plus point to this. I am going to break through the Eli for 4. Continue. He won't res, I'll access. I won't see anything. Again, his agenda density is low here, and I'm just going to take some money with Magnum Opus. Yeah, agenda density is a real problem. So he's put a card face down that's unadvanced, so we're going to run there first because I think it was private contracts, which I'm going to leave. I'm not going to bother trashing for 5. Probably thinking about it, I may have been better trashing that. I'd also already seen it on top of R&D. I'm probably going to wait for him to res it, but then at that point he takes the money off it anyway. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one whether to trash it for 5 or not, but denying him money here is strong. At the same time, he already has some quite taxing ice rezzed in the shape of the Eli and the Bastion. I'm going to run through on R&D and trash the Jackson Howard. Prevent him from dumping agendas, really. I don't want him to... I want to keep HQ vulnerable, even though it costs me quite a substantial bit to get through on HQ. I know there's a sneak door beta in my deck, which I can use and try and punish him for holding agendas in hand here. I'm going to draw. Still got that same old thing there, which I'm going to play. Second click, third click, and fourth click. I'm going to use it and to account siphon. And this here is, I think, a substantial misplay because I hadn't clicked at this stage that was my last same old thing. I completely forgot he had the private contract on the board, which he obviously reses to avoid the account siphon. So this is a big misplay here. I had all the information really available to me. I just didn't guess correctly. I do, however, didn't siphon him. I accessed instead and did see a 3-pointer, so it could be worse. You know, at least I'm on 5 points now. That's good, but at the same time, that was a misplay. Even though I saw the 3 points off it, I wasn't to know he had agendas in hand at this stage. And all I've done really is solidify his economy, weaken my own, and also I don't have any same old things to be able to use, which could cause me problems long term. I don't think my Levy AR access has been discarded at this stage, but if it has, I've got issues. So, yes, he's drawn up to another fetal AI there, it looks like, in hand. He's definitely got one neural AMP at the very least, a piece of ice. I'm not sure. I think he might have a scorch there, to be honest. Don't quote me on that. I don't think he does. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure he's not running scorched in this deck. Or if he were, he'd probably use it and kill me. So, yeah. We're guessing that's not a scorched. So I'll draw. I'll draw again. Seeing and indexing, so that's useful. Again, a great way of checking cards on top of R&D without risking any damage, particularly in a deck like this where he's running a lot of fetals. If I could just see that last 3-point agenda or 2-point agenda to win the game, and that indexing could become absolutely what I need here. But I'm in a good place. Currently I have a solution to every piece of ice on the board. I've got the Magnum Opus on the board. I've got a Deus Ex to defend against any unwanted net damage. He's icing up HQ, so there's probably agendas there. We obviously know there are, and then he's going to take some money off private contracts. So he's got some cash now at the very least. I'm going to draw into a Plascrete. Not really what I wanted. I've got the indexing though. I can get through on R&D quite comfortably. I presume I don't know what that piece of ice is there. As the innermost piece. He's quite fond of Sergi, which is incredibly expensive to break through. This deck doesn't have a mimic. It just has the Fems and Sharpshooters. So I'm going to take some money here. I do have a Fem there, which is nice. Fem isn't a great solution for Sergi either, with 4 subroutines. 4 to break a piece of ice with the Fem is not what you're after. He's going to continue to ice up R&D, and he's going to take the rest of the money off private contracts. So icing up his centrals hard, not giving me anything else to run on. Archive's still wide open here, so this is the kind of stage where I'm hoping to see that sneak door beta, and I believe I'm drawing up quite aggressively to find it. I'm going to diesel, yeah. And you can see though, my stack isn't exactly running very high, and I have drawn up my Levy AR access there. That's a card I need to keep in hand here at this stage. I mean, you can see I've probably only got about 10 cards left, if that, in my stack. My heap is very full. I don't want to use it yet, because I've got good cards I can play out here before I have to discard them all into the heap and draw back up another 5. But at the same time, that Levy AR access is hugely important now. So I'll run into a Yogura, which will trigger, which means he gets to look at the top card of R&D and do 1 net damage. He's going to leave that on top, and he's going to take a net damage off me. And discards the Plascrete, so I got a little bit lucky there. I need to learn the lesson here and not do anything silly because you know, this is a real problem. So hedge fund, take some cash. That Leviair access is very important. I've got to discard a card. I'm going to get rid of the spare opus. And like I said, I think looking at it at this point, I probably now, at this point, should use those cards, or use as many as I can, and then use the levy, and not take any risks before I start running that it'll be sniped. Getting all my deck back again, very, very strong, and it just means, because he's not scoring any agenda points here, I'm in no direct threat whatsoever. The flatline's pretty much off the cards. I'm feeling fairly confident at this stage. I'm on 5 points. I've just femmed that innermost piece of ice for the first click. But here I'm making big errors here. Big errors. I should not be doing this, ladies and gentlemen, in any way, shape or form. I should be playing it safe and playing that Leviair access. And yeah, that's what I should be doing. Well, anyway, I'm gonna draw then index, I think was what I said. He's going to do a net damage. Oh, and guess what he snipes out of my hand? Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. So he gets to look at the top card of R&D. He's going to leave it on top. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to see 5, so at least I know there's one. There's going to be one useless card there on top. He's deciding whether to res this piece of ice. And it's an itchy. Oh! That means I no longer have the ability to get through and take the agenda, the second agenda. Sorry, the game-winning agenda. I can't click through. I've only got 1 click left. I don't have enough money to break the itchy and to break the Eli. So big miscalculation on my part. You can see there's a priority wreck in hand. He's got a shock, a celebrity gift, and a fetal AI. So it's 5 points worth of agendas. I'm going to make him draw it up. So I'm putting the priority wreck on top. I'm putting the fetal next. And I'm putting the shock, then the celebrity gift, and then what looks like a Heimdall. So I'm going to make him draw up his agendas in hand, and then my plan is to run aggressively and get them. And I'm going to take 2 more credits. So the fetal AI is still there on top, so if I can stop, if he doesn't draw, I have the option of going in and getting it. Which is the plus point. All I need to make sure I have is either A, the clicks, or B, the money to get through those pieces of ice and go in and get that last fetal. He's going to install advance. So I need 2 credits to steal the fetal. I need, obviously, have to take a net damage. I draw here, because obviously I'm going to take the net damage as well. And again, I've made a misplay there, because I'm pretty sure I could go in and get it. If I take... I don't even need to take any credits. I could run against R&D. I could click through the Eli, or I could click through the Itchy rather. Just pay to get through the Eli for 4, and then I could go and win the game there. So that was pretty. Oh no, of course, that's right. I remember. He has a Yagura on top, so no, I couldn't. That's why I didn't do it. I remember now. So I hit the Yagura. He gets to see the top card in R&D. He obviously would then put that underneath, and I wouldn't run it, and I wouldn't be able to steal it. In fact, I'd run into a shock, so that would be bad. That's why I didn't do it. I remember why there was logic as to why I didn't run now. So yeah, that Yagura doing fantastic work there. It definitely saved him the game at that point, because otherwise it would have been mine. And I'm just glad to see that I didn't play like a gibbering gibbon there and actually avoid taking the win. So he's installing and advancing 2 face-down cards in those remotes now. That's causing me problems. First and foremost, he could be scoring 3-pointers here with impunity. First click, I'm going to run on the outermost one and see a false lead. So that takes me up to 6, and he does a net damage. He gets rid of the indexing, but at this stage, I can't really use it anyway. I'm drawing desperately up here for my Oh, do I want to do that? So I'm getting rid of my magnum opus to install the self-modifying code. I'm guessing I want to go in and break the Yagura with a Yog. I need to make sure it's actually still in there. I'm surprised I'm doing that. I've only got that many cards left. Oh no, okay. Alright, that's much better. That's a much better play. So I play the self-modifying code. I use it to go and fetch the sneak door beta. So that's what I'm doing. And yes, and that's absolutely fine because I wanted to do that. I want to, at this stage now, run aggressively against his hand. I know he has agendas in there. He's just drawn them. I put them there. I run. I see a Neurally MP. No joy. I just need to see one agenda here, and I've won the game. I'm on 6 points. He's on a fat 0. So I'm using the sneak door beta to get into his hand for free and access the cards I need. See the Neurally MP again. Yeah, what do you do? What do you do? He draws, sees that shock that I know I left on top for him. So we know he has agendas in hand. I'm pretty sure he has 2 fetals and 1 priority wreck at the very least. After this game, he did tell me that at this stage, when I started running his hand, he had about 8 points worth of agendas in hand. So 3 agenda cards out of a possible 5. He's going to advance that card, which tells me that it's almost certainly going to be a Ronin, but at the same time, I cannot risk taking 3 brain damage. I'm going to draw. I'm then going to run. I'm going to run through archives using sneak door and see if he reses whatever that is. It's kind of all or nothing stage here. I'm not quite sure. I think he's just getting some credits there. But I've got about 5 cards left on my stack. So this really is all or nothing point here now. I'm on 6 points to 0, and I just need to come on. So he's not going to res, so even better. So I'm going to start accessing, and there's 5 cards there. And again, just to remind you that these are. Oh, that's a Neurally MP. There are 3 agenda cards in hand, ladies and gentlemen, and I've just seen that Neurally MP 3 times in a row out of a possible 5 cards. I'll let someone else do the statistics on that one. So we're going to go again, because I keep seeing the same bloomin' card. Obviously, my luck here is terrible. Oh, I see a shock! Fantastic! Great! Just great. So we'll trash that, because it increases my odds of actually seeing an agenda the next time. He's going to discard the Fem, and I'm going to use Sneak Door again for the last time. So we're talking 5 runs here using Sneak Door, and see the Neurally MP. So I'm pretty sure that that was the only non-agenda card in his hand that I saw there. So to say that that was somewhat unfortunate, I think is probably an understatement. Any other card would have won me the game. 5 runs against HQ there in a row, and no joy whatsoever. He's going to trash that piece of ice, which I'm pretty sure was a bluff. I think it was a chum, and he just wanted to discourage the run. So he's put a new piece of ice on there, and he has plenty of money. I have a real problem now with cards. A real problem with cards. I'm going to draw. At this stage, I'm thinking that he must have discarded all of his agendas in archives. I'm thinking he probably has double Neurally MP in hand, if not 3, because I've seen it so often. And I'm thinking, oh, well, he must have dumped them all. They must all be there in archives. That's the conclusions that I have drawn from seeing that Neurally MP that many times, is that he's holding on to his Neurally MP, he's getting ready to kill me. He doesn't have just 1, he in fact has all 3 or 2 at, best guess. They're all there in archives. I must go in and find them. I only need to find 1, and I've won. So that's my current logic process that I'm thinking through. The game really slows down at this stage, as you can probably appreciate. I only have 4 cards left or so in the stack. I cannot actually take that much more net damage because I run out of cards to be able to draw. My window of opportunity for scoring fetals is somewhat diminishing, and at the same time he has that triple advance card on the table, which could be a Ronin. And although I can deflect it with the Deus Ex I have on the board, yeah, I've got problems. So I run here into a Heimdall, which he pays 8 to res, which is going to pose long-term problems. There's no denying it. I've got 2 clicks left, so... And again, I'd seen it on top of R&D. I knew that there was a chance that it was there. I tried to do it earlier rather than later, so I can click through the brain damage, or I can click through the end runs. Knowing what I do now, I probably would have just taken the brain damage and tried to access. So I'm just going to click through the brain damage one and end the run. I don't want to risk it. Although, you know, I only have 4 cards in hand. The problem is losing one of those 4 cards now is a real problem. I think I'm just weighing up here whether to trash the sneak door and put down the magnum opus. I'm going to draw. So I think I've got, again, either 3 or 4 cards there left in the stack. And a lot of cards. Looking for my Levy AR access. Yeah, I don't have that anymore. And I'm just double checking that all my same old things have gone, which they have. I didn't think this through here. I could have had this sewn up if I'd had the cards in my stack to be able to use. And I just needed to hold on to that levy rather than go crazy on R&D. Use the levy, put my heat back in my stack, and profit. I was on 5 points, so I had nothing to lose really. So I'm going to trash the sneak door because I can't really use that repeatedly now anyway. And I'm going to just click for money. So I still have, you know, I've got the economic engine, I've got a sentry breaker, I've got a barrier breaker. I haven't got a code gate breaker at all, but I've got the Deus Ex to be able to fend off any EMP damage. He's double icing up archives, which again makes me think, oh, he's got agendas there. I need to go in and get them. That's where the agendas all are. There's like 9 points worth of agendas in archives. It has to be. That's the only place they could possibly be. Because I made him draw them up, and I haven't seen them. So, I mean, I know for a fact that he has drawn up 5 points worth of agendas. It's just what he's done with them. And again, that's why I was so keen to get that sneak door out with a self-modifying code. I didn't want to leave it any longer. I knew he had them in hand. I made them draw him up with the indexing run. And now I'm thinking, obviously, he's drawn them up and he's just shoved them straight back into archives. Yeah, that face-down card there could quite easily be a Jackson Howard. But am I going to run it? No, probably not. I'm just going to run archives and make him use it. It's a safer option against Jinteki. But yeah, real decision paralysis now at this point. Cards is the issue. Cards are now my most precious resource because I don't have enough of them. I've only got, you know, the ability to take 3 points of net damage before I hit real issues. I haven't seen any Ronins yet. There are no Ronins in archives. So I know he has at the very least 2. I'm pretty sure he has 3 Ronins. That one on the triple advance probably could be a Ronin. I've got the Deus Ex to deflect it, so I'm in no rush to hit it. Because, you know, I don't want a chance hitting a cerebral overwriter. I don't quite have the money to be able to run through on HQ. I can get through on archives. I don't know what that last piece of ice is, but I could probably break it with the correct amount of money. The only thing I can't get through at the moment is code gates. And I'm just going to take some cash. So I'm prepping myself for a better run the following turn. And like I say, I know he's got I can see now, you know, he's got a handful of agendas. I'm surprised he's not trying to score them out. It's kind of a little bit balls to the wall, I'll grant you, because you're putting an unprotected agenda out, but at the same time, I cannot really afford to run and hit them. So yeah, for a couple of infiltrations in the deck. Very difficult to find the space you need in a Chaos Theory deck, already running at 40 cards. Infiltration is one of those cards that you kind of wish you had in this matchup. He's certainly not going to win through agendas. He's going to win through the flat line. He probably is better off just playing patiently, waiting, hoping I hit a shock, a snare, sorry, not a fetal, but something that makes me discard down, and suddenly I don't have the cards to be able to go in and take what I need. So I'm going to run HQ, and there's the Zergi. So, you know, that is a problem. I can't afford to take the net damage, that's for sure. So I have to pay to break it. I don't have a choice. I cannot take any net damage at the moment. If I do, I'm in a whole world of trouble. So I'll go through and I'll break all those servers and see... Oh! That's right! I'll see the Neural EMP again! So again, I'm just convinced he has a handful of Neural EMPs here. But in fact, he only has one. But it's another Neural EMP that I've seen. And I use the rest of my turn to take money, and so it's over to him. He's going to take cash off private contracts. HQ is looking vulnerable now, so I wonder if he's going to look to try and protect it. He's going to hedge fund, take some cash. Just taking another card out of HQ makes it that much more tempting. And he's going to install another piece of ice onto HQ there. So getting rid of the Baku. So I make him run HQ. It's a Caduceus. Another piece of ice. It's a bit of a pain to break with a Fem. So I'm doing my math here, making sure I've actually got the money to go through and break it. I don't really care about him gaining money at this point. This is no longer an economic battle. It's just about me getting him my accesses, and the accesses I need to actually, you know, win the game. The more I'm running here on HQ, the more I'm thinking he's dumped these in archives. He must have dumped these in archives, because I'm making run after run after run. I'm not seeing anything. So I'll run through, I'll break, I'll access, and I'll see a fetal, but I've only got 1 credit! No! I can't steal it. I've only got 1 credit left, so he does 2 net damage to me. Still, I don't have the ability to steal it because I'm a credit short. So that was the win, but I didn't have the money. I should have probably, again, if I'd taken 2 more credits there, 2 more credits from Magnum Opus, it would have been absolutely fine. But no, I was 1 credit shy, and I didn't have the ability to go in and take the money I needed. So I'm drawing up. I've got 1 card left, what it looks like there on the stack, and 5 cards in hand. I can't afford to miss like that anymore. At least I know there's an agenda there that can win me the game. I just need to be able to pay 2 and take 2 net damage. At this stage, he's going to use the Ronin that he has been lying there on the table for goodness knows how long, and do 3 net damage to me. I'm obviously going to trash my Deus Ex to avoid that net damage because I can't afford to lose the cards. And he knew that, obviously, but he wanted to take it off the board. Gave me less options. And that's, again, another reason why I couldn't use it to deflect the fetal damage. So I'm sat on about 3 or 4 credits there by the looks of it. Got a whole 1 card left in the stack. My levy's gone, my same old things are gone. I'm on 6 agenda points to 0. Just to clarify that once more. Fast past the 30-minute mark in the game. I need to split this round at the very least to take me to a top 8, and I'm feeling the pressure here. Feeling the pressure. Hence why my play has slowed down to a grinding halt. I've got a Maker's Eye there, what it looks like in hand, which probably isn't going to do what I need. I know he has agendas in hand, but I'm thinking, oh, he must have dumped them. He must have dumped them. It's the only explanation as to why I've been so unlucky. He has put one of those priority wrecks that I made him draw up, and he's shoved it in archives. So I'm going to scavenge the fen from the itchy. I will remove the itchy counter eventually, and move it across to that unres piece of ice on archives. And I'm going to run. I'm going to click through the Heimdall. I'm thinking about clicking through the Heimdall. I'm thinking, do I want to take a brain damage, or do I wait till the next turn to do it? Do I take the brain damage, or do I go hell for leather now? Because I'm just thinking, they've got to be in archives. They've got to be. I mean, when you make 6 odd runs against HQ and see a nearly MP 4 times, you're thinking, well, what can you do? So I'm going to draw and then take 4 credits. So that's all my cards gone. Stack empty. All I've got left is what I've got in hand, and that's I think 5 cards. So there we go. That goes to the itchy counter. It's this is a real real problem. I've got 4 cards in hand, I think, and it doesn't matter how many agenda points Sai has scored. It's entirely irrelevant. He's going to install advance. I can't run there because if it's a June bug, I lose. If it's a cerebral overwriter, oh, I pretty much lose as well. If it's a Ronin, then if I don't run it, I'm dead. If it's a 3-pointer, he does a net damage to me as well. Anything he does now, I cannot respond to, because I cannot take the risk of hitting a June bug, hitting a cerebral, and at the same time I almost can't take a risk of not running in case it's a June bug. So real decision paralysis here, which is exactly what Jinteki excels at, and a deck that's just so problematic when you get to this stage. You know, cards are more precious than anything else I have now, and I cannot afford to lose the ones I have left in hand. I'm going to run archives, I'm going to ignore the remote, because I'm convinced there's agendas there, and I'm going to click through the Heimdall. He's not going to res the outermost piece of ice. So there's the 3 cards, 4 cards. Oh, celebrity gifts. Oh, more. Yeah, nothing. But oh, there's a shock for you. Fantastic. The one I trashed and paid the privilege for trashing last. So I now have to take a net damage. I'm going to have a quick look to see what's left. There's only been 1 snare discarded as well, so that's a problem. So he's going to do a net damage to me. At this stage, it doesn't really matter what card gets discarded. It's just a card, and it leaves me now with 3, I think. He is going to advance and use the Ronin, which leaves me on 0 cards. He's taken all 3 out of my hand. That did take his whole turn up. So I now have 1 turn with no cards left to see the winning agenda. If I can see the agenda this turn, I win, apart from a fetal. If I see a fetal, then I lose, because I have to take the 2 net damage before I have the chance of stealing it. I know he has the neural EMP in hand, so the solution is either to not run, in which case he can just score out an agenda potentially, or I have to steal the agenda now. This is it, the last turn, the last chance I have to win the game. I've got 4 clicks, how am I going to use them? Oh, yeah, this isn't pleasant. This is not pleasant. 6 points to 0. I have 0 cards in hand, 0 cards in the stack. Ah. Oh, I put it to you, ladies and gentlemen. What would you do in this situation? How would you play this? I mean, obviously, you probably wouldn't have made the key mistakes that I made at the same time, but, you know, what would you do at this stage? How would you get that last agenda that guarantees you top 8 entry? What do you do? Answers on a postcard or in the comment section if you prefer. During this moment of absolute death and despair, I'll just take the opportunity to advertise our forums. It's Netrunners.co.uk. Go and have a look at our site. We have articles, we have set reviews, we have videos, we have all singing, all dancing forums. Please feel free to come along and have a look and join in the fun. So here we go. First clue. No. Sorry, fake out. Not going to do that. That would be foolish. We're going to run and take 6 credits. Sorry, we're going to take 6 credits with Magnum Opus for the first 3 clicks, and we have one last click. One last Hail Mary. If I see the agenda, I win, so long as it's not a fetal AI. If I see a priority wreck, I win, because I don't take the net damage until after I've stolen it, at which point the game will be over, because I would have already won. So I'm going to run HQ. This is it. This is it. Yeah, that's a fetal, and 2 net damage to me in the face before I have a chance of stealing it, which I cannot deal with. Game over. The end. And I think this is the point where Sai is so gracious as to show me the rest of his hand. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there's 2 priority wrecks there, a solitary Neurally MP, and he's just pointing out that he had all of those agendas in hand for almost all the game, including my many, many runs against HQ. So a little bit unfortunate, I would suggest, but an entertaining game, nevertheless. One that's unlikely to be repeated. So I now have to win my Corp game to guarantee top 8. Join us in the last round, last game of Swiss.